This is Heavyweight Hustle, Calvin Tankman. Tune in to Tru Heel Heat podcast. You won't be disappointed.
What's up, everyone? It's the Interview Queen Alicia Toot here, and be sure to watch Tru Heel Heat.
All right, hello, Tru Heel Heat. I'm the AEW World Champion MJF. Just in case you're deaf, dumb, blind, stupid, or since you listen to this podcast poor, you're listening to Tru Heel Heat, and I apologize for that.
Hey guys, it's Thunder Rosa and welcome to Tru Heel Heat.
Hello everyone, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at Tru Heel Heat. Yeah!
We're back! We're back after a 1-week hiatus where I became the best man. We are back live on your YouTube screens on a Saturday. It's a Saturday morning cookout. It's the flagship podcast, Tru Heel Heat 249. And boy, oh boy, did Tony Khan have a week. A week that he hyped up an important announcement that was just a couple of tickets being sold. Is the same week he decides to sign an old melted candle that sings woo. We're going to discuss all of that. It's the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast. Is AEW's image ruined? Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. We are live on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch for Tru Heel Heat 249. All elderly wrestling. We're discussing the latest wrestling news, including AEW signing the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, and was this the worst decision for Tony Khan in AEW history. We'll discuss all of that. We also will discuss when Bryan Danielson will make his long-awaited NJPW debut, plus the latest on his broken orbital bone. Recap of this week in wrestling, including this morning's NJPW Power Struggle, Fighting Spirit Unleashed last Saturday, AEW Dynamite Rampage Collision, WWE SmackDown, Raw, NXT, ROH TV, Impact on Access TV, as well as Impact Turning Point. And we got predictions, final predictions for WWE Crown Jewel 2023. And no, I am not joined by the beautiful, the lovely Miss Chrissy Love. Even better for all of y'all when she's not here. I am joined by the resident Tru Heel alcoholic himself, Top Guy JJ. How are you doing?
God damn, it's 10 a.m. and I'm in front of this camera with these fake flames surrounding us. You know, it's all great stuff. And we've made November. I thought the entire month was in jeopardy, and then here we are, week 1. Your boy is in the house.
Look at that.
But you know, the rest of the month.
We know we only got you once.
But definitely glad to be able to pop out. You know, before, you know, definitely I got to go to work right after this. But we in the building, and so much overreaction and so much dumb shit is taking place. Once you step back into this world and have, like, you know, sometimes like I don't get to see the programming every single week, but then that week where I'm like, I'm gonna pop in for a bit, I gotta see something, and then it's like, god damn,
what's going on?
Like this is like a fucking this is literally a real life soap opera every week with fucking wrestling. Like it's literally some new wild shit every week. Crazy.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. That's what they're here for. They're here. They want to give us some content to discuss every single Saturday. So that's what wrestling's here for. You know that?
You know, I don't know, man. We'll see, because I'm pretty sure you're gonna cook up some shit that I haven't heard, and I'm gonna probably react to for the first time because it's been an extremely busy week. So I'm probably gonna hear a lot of shit, but. Also, want to send a special congratulations to our boy Stat King, you know, tying the knot, you know, finding that person that he can tolerate for the rest of his life. You know, that is a hard thing to do. And congratulations, you found each other, you've been able to, you got successful. And my boy over here was a part of the lovely the groomsmen. So yes. You know, so a lot of fun things taking place and something really positive. So before we talk about all this crazy shit, shout out to our boy Stat King.
He was in New York this week.
And his lovely wife Colleen.
Yes, he even got to hang out with our very own True Jaw Josh. Got to get some. I think they went to 8 Bites Hub or something like that. So yes, some very good stuff. I'm very happy for Stat King, and he honored me with a new nickname, the Best Man. I'm the best man, Top Guy JJ. When you get married, you need to make me the best man as well.
I mean, you already have the moniker. So,
exactly.
You have the moniker, so why can't we give someone else that title, and then you could become the best men?
No, because Johnny's gonna probably ask you to be his best man. So I'm not I'm not gonna get that one. So I gotta get yours. I gotta call dibs on yours.
Based on your history, he definitely ain't asking you.
It's all a shoot, brother. It's all a shoot. But yes, we're going to talk some about professional wrestling today. So we appreciate y'all for joining us live. We appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. As always, show that appreciation back in the simplest way possible. Drop the thumbs up on this video. That is so important, guys. It helps out the YouTube algorithms. It helps other fans like yourself, professional wrestling fans, or people that have never heard of the channel, to see this video as well. As always, you also can share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. We appreciate all the support we've been getting. And of course, if you're with us live, sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you on our flagship podcast here. We got the good brother Vala B, one of our members. You can hit that join button for just $1 a month. Become a member of the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, or become a Patreon backer like Vala B as well for $3 a month at patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. Vala B saying, "What's up, brothers?" We got Frantic World who says, "What's up, SP3, Top Guy JJ, and chat." We also got here Sports Entertainment Conquers Pro Wrestling saying Tony Khan can do no wrong in the hardcore fanboy's eyes.
No, apparently not. Apparently not.
I literally had people saying that I bashed Tony Khan because I put out a tweet that said hiring Ric Flair is one of the worst decisions in AEW history, and I got told that I'm a person that always bashes TK because of where my significant other works. Social media, guys.
Social, that means they haven't seen any of the other 248 episodes of Tru Heel Heat, or even 8 of them, or 2 of them, or 4 of them. Just any one of the numbers in the 248. Haven't seen any of them. So you know, you're a Tony Khan basher, sir.
I'm a Tony Khan basher. Because it's not like I do another, AEW Dynamite review that's on 118 episodes where I am the guy that is positive about AEW against the guy that literally calls Tony Khan an idiot every single week. But yeah, I'm the guy that bashes him.
Yeah, and also says things that is not sponsored by the channel whatsoever.
No.
How many times
we literally have to put a disclaimer because he bashes Tony Khan so much. But I'm the one. That's
you're an asshole.
Fair. We got Vala B who says, "Yeah, solid video title. I might get to do my job in chat today." Yes, Vala B. Vala B, Negro Buck, any other people that are Patreon backers, members, we appreciate y'all for moderating the chat as well. Vala B saying, "Congrats to Stat King. Hope the wedding was fun and y'all had a great time. Top 2 weddings I've ever been to, honestly. Good. They had good food, open bar, and some good music, good DJ. So can't.
Yeah, that's a great combination.
Exactly. Can't go wrong.
You know, it's a fucked up thing. Yeah, he actually, you know what? He is an asshole. He isn't. You know what he didn't say? Good people. He didn't even say good people.
Great people. Great people.
He didn't say anything about the people.
Great
it was
people.
all about the food, the bar, and the music.
Great
Fuck
people.
Everybody else. Fuck everybody that was there.
Great people. Stat King's family is awesome. They treated me like I was family. Mrs. Stat Queen, her family is very nice as well. So yes. Lovely. Stat Queen's mom is the GOAT. We were singing Gold Digger together on the dance floor. So
yeah. See, you gotta keep the people involved, man. All that food and all that alcohol is gone.
It was a nice day. Frantic Girl says, "I'm going to watch the NJPW pay-per-view today, and I can't wait to see Okada versus Bryan Danielson on Wrestle Kingdom." We're about to talk about that. We're going to start with New Japan, I think for the first time on the flagship since like what?
Yeah,
since it came back from pandemic, and we started off the episode being happy that it was coming back before Evil ruined all of that happiness.
Yeah, I don't remember that because I don't remember anything about Evil. So I guess this is the first time in my history of us opening about New Japan. Even though I was probably present on that show.
You were present. I am literally telling you.
I know exactly. My brain wants to permanently forget that, and it has done a great job of that for 3 years until you try to put an implant in my head about that.
Yep, because we're going to talk about it. We also got here Vala B with a fact. This channel is the nicest to TK. LOL. I was like, I'm so confused because the person told me that that Busted Open Radio, YouTube shows, podcasts, and all this other stuff always bash Tony Khan. I was like, no. I was like, I've watched, filmed, and produced YouTube shows and podcasts that are overwhelmingly majority of the time positive about Tony Khan. So that's not true. And then he said to say, oh, well, you killed them on one of those shows and they said it was because you were your significant other work. That's the type of conversations we have on social media nowadays, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
Yeah, that sounds about how it sums it up. Yeah, I heard on another show that's what someone told me, that's what someone else told me, that your significant other may work or may not work depending on, the 17 sources that I just heard from, Yeah.
Exactly. And then when my response was, what does my significant other have to do with anything? They said, so I wasn't lying. So it was what, and they take a paycheck. I was like, these people are the
she can, because she controls your opinion, bro, because that's what she works. You do not have a brain cell in that head that belongs to you.
Not like me myself has like stock in WWE or anything like that, So
it's gotta be hilarious how stupid these people are. Like it's gotta be quite hilarious.
I used to not waste my time. I used to like block them when it got anything like negative. Like 6 months ago, I would have blocked that person just for mentioning my significant other in a wrestling conversation. But now I just try to entertain myself in not insulting them, but getting them to realize how much of a dumbass they are. And I did that. So I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, so we're gonna refrain from any of the Will Smith potential stuff because SP is actually
I was very close.
He's protecting his actual significant other and not a figment of his imagination. Good
point. Points were made. Points were made. But let's get into the actual show here. We want to thank everyone.
I guess him and Monte Peo has got some things to talk about.
We need a disclaimer for you. We start off every episode with our Tru Heel roll call, shouting out all of you who support us across social media. Our top 3 conversation starters on our Tru Heels group page over on Facebook. We got one of my neighbors in the Bronx coming in at number 3, Ivan Rosa. Shout outs to Ive. Thanks for the support. We got Joe Bellini. And number 1, Stewie Palmer. Our Patreon backers, you got Vala B, you got Alan Weinstein, Negro Buck, Alex McCarthy, Professor Chris, Austin Gay, Robert Steve, Fifth Generation Carney, Ladarius, John, Dan Snide, Kobe, Dolores, John Martin, DJ Eric, Marcus Ryan, James, Allen, Queen Monet, Santo, and Christopher and Victoria Kidd. Thank you so much for supporting us over at patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. We appreciate all the love and support. And let's get into some wrestling with what we missed. So we missed a lot from the last 2 weeks in professional wrestling, but we're only going to focus on the past week since last Saturday. We might drop in some stuff throughout the show, but let's start in with what happened this morning. It was NJPW Power Struggle 2023, the last major show for New Japan Pro Wrestling before Wrestle Kingdom on January 4th. We do have the World Tag League and the Road to Tokyo Dome to go for the rest of the year, but this is the last major show, and they went out with a bang with this show this morning. The show featured Will Ospreay having a match. So, of course, the match was 5 stars and the greatest match of his opponent's career. He versus Soto Amino in an absolutely sensational 40-minute epic war to retain the IWGP United Kingdom Championship. He also had the United States Championship in hand, which led to our post-match where Ospreay called out Jon Moxley and told him to get into the ring, getting in Moxley's face, calling him out for making the U.S. title irrelevant before David Finlay came in and hit both men with the shillelagh, laying both men out, and then taking a giant hammer to smash the IWGP UK and US championships because both men care about those titles so much, and he doesn't give a damn. Backstage, Ospreay went on to issue the challenge for a 3-way match at the Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Kingdom and asked New Japan to create a new title for him to elevate. We also had John Moxley earlier in the night had an absolute bloody, one of the wildest matchups you will see in New Japan. The match never hit the ring. It was regular rules, and then it went to a double count out. Moxley gets on the mic and says he wants the match to continue as a false count anywhere, and they never hit the ring. They fought for 15 minutes. Moxley's blood was on people in the crowd. They took out a row of chairs in the crowd. It was insane as Jon Moxley defeated Great Okan on this night. You also had Hiromu Takahashi defeating Taiji Ishimori in a great match to retain the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Post-match, Hiromu issued the challenge to El Desperado for Wrestle Kingdom 18 to be his next challenger. Catch 2-2 became the new winners of the Super Junior Tag League 2023 tournament as they defeated House of Torture. Post-match, Bullet Club War Dogs attacked TJP and Francisco Akira. El Despi Wato, they picked up a win in a four-way junior heavyweight tag team matchup against Ichiban Sweet Boys, BC War Dogs, and Yo and Masishi. And you also had Kazuchika Okada, Tomohiro Ishii, and Hiroshi Tanahashi defeating TMDK in an excellent trios matchup, with Tanahashi pinning the NJPW World Television Champion Zack Sabre Jr. for Tanahashi, Ishii, and Okada to retain the never openweight six-man tag team championships. But everybody is talking about the post-match top guy, JJ, as post-match, Bryan Danielson, with bandage over his broken orbital bone at the hands of Kazuchika Okada, challenged the Rainmaker to a rematch at the Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Kingdom 18 on January 4th. He says that 2 times they have faced, 2 times he has won, 2 times Okada has broken something of his. First his arm, now his orbital bone, and he says at Wrestle Kingdom, he is going to break Okada's arm so he never delivers a Rainmaker again. And Okada accepted. So Bryan Danielson gets announced on Collision last week, saying that he has the broken orbital bone out for the rest of the year. Everybody is talking about what does that mean for the rest of the year for AEW? What does that mean for Bryan versus Okada, which seemed like it was going to happen at Wrestle Kingdom before this show. And despite a broken orbital bone, this man says, I'm going to be at the Tokyo Dome. Bryan Danielson is insane. JJ, what do you think about Bryan Danielson officially announcing his NJPW debut this morning?
I guess he's about to define science. We'll see if his timeline, he has about, give or take, about 7.5 weeks for this to heal, which means we all know it's going to be nothing but promos from here on out. There ain't gonna be no contact pretty much until they might test the waters maybe like 6 days before, 5-6 days before.
I don't think Bryan's wrestling another match until the Tokyo.
A match? Hell no.
I don't think Bryan should touch Okada until the Tokyo Dome because of what's happened the last 2 times.
Yeah, you got he's I guess to a degree cursed by Okada. I think it's crazy to think, right, that he has never had a match there. Like it's mind-boggling to me, honestly. Like you would think, but yeah, it's reality. That man has no resume there, and damn, that is going to be a way to kick off 2024. Like, holy, like, they always have this capability, man, of potentially giving you the match of the year in the first week of the year.
And they did. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I told everybody 2 weeks ago when we did the last podcast, you got to start thinking about your end of the year awards. I'll be honest. I think Ospreay and Omega still my match of the year. And that was on January 4th.
Yeah.
That was on January 4th. And like people tell me, oh, I like the Forbidden Door match more. I was like, nah, I rewatched Wrestle Kingdom again. It was the best match of the year. It was the best
match. Like, nothing's gonna be more I guess, gripping, pause. Nothing's gonna be more than that to your eyeballs. Then see, and honestly, if you pick either match, I don't think you're wrong. But for just a wrestling masterpiece, yeah, one it's almost you're not touching that in a wrestling ring this year. But honestly, if you pick the one for Forbidden Door, like I ain't gonna be mad at that either.
I feel like there's there's at best like 6 or 7 options.
Yeah,
that most people you really shouldn't argue with them. Like Ospreay has like 5 of them. Like his 2 matches with Omega, his match with Naito, the match with ZSJ in London that just happened, and then the greatest Impact match we ever seen ever last 2 Saturdays ago with Speedball Mike Bailey got 5.25 stars. It's rated higher than AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels versus Samoa Joe back in 2005, which for the past nearly 20 years has been the highest rated match in Impact history.
Which
I say TNA?
Which I think is a mistake. Which I don't care. I still think that's a mistake. I don't care how many years ago that I think that's still a mistake. That is the greatest match. That is the greatest match in TNA Impact, whatever the fuck you want to call its history, and that's it. It.
I think I rated it the same. I think that it's that Speedball and Ospreay is a 5-star match. You can't tell me. I think that it cleared everything, and that yes, it is a actual debate of what's the better matchup.
Fair, but I'm sticking to that.
Of course. You have nearly 20 years of the impact and the relevancy and significance of it to back up your argument.
Like I just can't find myself to give something better. I mean, that company deserves that moniker of that being their greatest match ever. I mean, hope that Speedball Mike Bailey has an amazing career to make this memorable many years down the road. Hopefully he does, because if he does, then I think that would carry more relevance to if they're going to have future matches, because obviously this kid is like not even 25 yet. And then
Speedball's up there. He's in his 30s.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, he's like, he's like 33. He's 33. He's been wrestling for some years. He's been on the indie scene.
Wait.
He just broke out in like after the pandemic.
You're telling me Speedball is older than Will Ospreay?
Yes.
That's insane.
Yes. Will Ospreay's only 30. Will Ospreay's only 30, but Will Ospreay is also like got the Tanahashi body. It says Tanahashi's 47. He got the body of a 70-year-old. Ospreay's 30, but he got the body of like a 45, 50-year-old at this point.
Oh, Jesus. But oh my God, like I'm looking forward to seeing what the build-up is going to be for Okada and Danielson for this match here. Like I'm looking forward to it. Like I really want to see it, and hopefully they do some fun stuff and blend it into an AEW show or two, just so the American audience could potentially get like a little blip into that.
I'm hoping for, because of the promo on Collision and then everything that we've seen this week from him, I'm hoping we get Claudio versus Okada at Full Gear. New Japan doesn't have a show that week. Just do it, Tony. Tony, do it.
That would be damn. That would listen, wouldn't that put Okada in danger of missing the match?
Okada's fine. Okada is not Brittle Bryan. He's fine. He could have a match at Full Gear. He'll be fine. It's Brittle Bryan where we have to worry about here.
Yeah, and the thing is I guess
I love you, Brian. That was a joke. I love you, Brian.
Yeah, listen, and the thing is that it's at the age that he's hitting, he's more normal than the unnormal people that is wrestling at their ages. Like, yeah, if you especially with his style, you're gonna get hurt more. Like, them bones ain't as strong as they used to be when they were when you were in your 20s compared to now when you're in your mid 40s, pretty much. Them shits ain't the same no more. Them shits is gonna chip where they're gonna gonna fracture. Them shits is gonna take a little bit more damage a little bit more quickly. So with the stuff that he's doing is pretty remarkable. Yeah. It is. It's pretty remarkable that at his age and the style that he still performs at, like, listen, get that man his flowers. If you ever get, whenever you watch it, just watch it knowing that you don't know how long you're gonna have this, because even he has alluded to he's gonna go out his way. Yeah. So he's not gonna like pussyfoot anything that he does for the remainder of his career. Like, it's gonna stop suddenly. And that's the thing, is like, and it's obviously, hopefully, it's just he just says, all right, that was it, and he's gonna have his final, but it's gonna be something along those lines. Like, he's gonna know when it's time for that final match, and he's just gonna drop it on us. He's just gonna drop it on us.
Valabi in the chat saying, he was in New Japan for a tour in 2006. Valabi, I think you're not understanding what I'm saying. This is not the same Bryan Danielson that went there in 2006. This is also not the same New Japan that he went to in 2006. So I feel like this is a whole debut. This is a whole debut. This is a brand new. This is a new guy coming to a new promotion. Because if you think that New Japan in 2006 is the same New Japan in 2023, then okay, then it's a return. But for me, it's a debut.
What did he do in that tour in 2006? Do you remember?
Danielson and Curryman won the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles.
You serious?
Yep.
Serious.
Yep.
Great. Yeah.
Valabi is our technical corrector, because he's being very technical here.
This is his debut coming up. Ain't nobody remembering that shit.
It was like the people that was like when I called Ospreay and Omega from Wrestle Kingdom, Ospreay Omega 1, and Forbidden Door Ospreay Omega 2, because I do realize they did wrestle before this year, but people will define it as Ospreay Omega 1, Ospreay Omega 2 this year. And someone corrected me, was like, well, they faced each other in PWG. I was like, I'm aware. And I sent them the link. I was like, I'm aware. I watched it right here if you want to watch it. And no, it's still Ospreay Omega 1, Ospreay Omega
2. We're not gonna go into this technical breakdown of if they haven't had the mainstream matches. Mainstream and indie market matches don't count. Indie market matches do not count as first, second, and third times. So if you're telling me that these guys,
unless it's something like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, like if someone told me, oh, the first time they had a match was in WWE, then I would laugh right in their face. But
but hold on. But if their first match, say, was in MLW, like, no one's gonna know that existed.
Exactly. There's levels to this. Levels.
So their first series was in Ring of Honor, which many people know. Like, pretty much anybody that watches wrestling to any degree doesn't have to know everybody that's in Ring of Honor, but they know Ring of Honor exists. There's a ton of people that don't even know like MLW or whatever these other indie companies they don't even know if they exist or not. So, yeah, you can have a match in PWG. Nobody's going to fucking remember that they had a match in PWG.
PWG does a lot of matches, guys.
That's like almost like yo. They had a series of matches in OVW. Huh?
Like what? Where they do that at? But yes, one other question before we get into more about the Bryan injury. What do you think about David Finlay inserting himself into this IWGP UK US picture? It seemed like we were gonna get Will Ospreay versus Jon Moxley at Wrestle Kingdom. I talked about it on the Power Struggle preview yesterday with Sanal NJ News that Ospreay has beaten every single person across the ring from him that signed to AEW but one person, and that one person being Jon Moxley. And Moxley was the person that beat him for the US title last year in controversial fashion. So the story made itself, and then they swooped Finlay in there. And I've already been seeing on social media a lot of people feeling like Finlay has been shoehorned in here because this is another attempt for New Japan to push him.
this is not going to be a knock on David Finlay at all. Like, this is not going to be a knock on him at all. I just feel like he doesn't belong in this story. Like, just for me, like, I just don't, like, it did not add, when you mentioned, it didn't add a single ounce of intrigue to me. It took it away a bit, to a degree for me, because that Ospreay and Moxley pairing and having them two go one-on-one to finish this off at Wrestle Kingdom, to me, would have been like a perfect conclusion to what they were doing, to what they've done and what their history has been. David Finlay's just so randomly thrown in there. Unless you can correct me of anything that puts these three together, like specifically that would put these three together, it was like, why? Like, why wouldn't he be the guy that says, interferes and fucks them up after the Wrestle Kingdom match?
Yeah.
And then establishes himself as the new contender for whomever comes out on top in that particular one-on-one match at Wrestle Kingdom. Not being in the fucking match. Like that was like, no. Like, it just didn't feel like it belonged. It didn't feel like he belonged in that story. They shot it too fast, and I think that's 2 months too early.
I agree with you. Ospreay's contract doesn't end until February. I think that Finlay would have been much more, tolerable as the challenger after Wrestle Kingdom. Let Ospreay and Moxley have their big matchup to determine who's the greatest IWGP UK US champion ever. And then whoever comes out of that, Finlay can beat for the title and get his push, his next level of his push. But shoehorning him here, it just feels like they're trying too hard. We do have,
and then you got him smashing both titles like he's the dominant figure of this story when you're the extra guy in the story.
I just hope this means we're getting the IC title back. Please give us the IC title back. Please give us the IC title back.
Yo, that is a beautiful title.
Yo, so pretty. It's the
beautiful title. Yeah, way better than that US or UK shit that they got.
I actually like that title too. I think that title's dope as well. I think New Japan make dope titles until they made that IWGP World title.
Yeah. We're not going to talk about it.
We got a super chat donation from the good brother Valo B. Thank you so much, Valo B. Always supporting. And of course, if you're with us live, you can send a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. We will highlight your comment on screen and give us our thoughts on what you have to say. We got Valo B saying Shota had to go 3 levels above to beat Ospreay, and he went 3 levels above just that Ospreay went another level above himself too. 40 minutes of pure wrestling bliss, storytelling, and it was cinema. An absolutely fantastic match. Spoiler alert, another Ospreay 5-star matchup incoming, in my opinion.
But that's what we're doing now. We calling everything in wrestling cinema now.
Well, that's what Roman Reigns said. Only little kids do that last night. He said the kids say it's cinema.
That's what we're doing now. Everything is cinema now.
Everything.
I completely actually we'll talk, but I completely agree. I was like, when the fuck has everything become cinema? Everything is fucking cinema.
They're calling it cinema. Oh, we got another super chat donation from the good brother, the Negro Buck, Nick Jackson, who says, yes, you can't tell me this man isn't the greatest. Talking about
whenever
Bryan,
you see that, you
Bryan
already know
Danielson.
he's talking about Bryan Danielson. Yeah, you already know. No matter what part of the show you post this at, this could be 2 hours in. This is a plug for the American Dragon.
I love it. And that's a perfect segue too. So I thank you, Negro Bug. As we talk about Bryan Danielson's injury that he suffered, it was revealed on the October 28th edition of AEW Collision last Saturday that Bryan Danielson suffered a broken orbital bone on last week's AEW Dynamite. Claudio Castagnoli announced the news on Collision during Sunday's Wrestling Observer Radio. Dave Meltzer gave an update. He noted that Bryan Danielson has already had surgery to repair the fracture. AEW had hoped that it would not require surgery, but it was the only way for him to heal properly. It was noted that if there are plans for Danielson to wrestle Kazuchika Okada again at Tokyo Dome, they may not happen. The reason that Claudio Castagnoli mentioned wanting to face Okada is because he may be a replacement if Danielson can't do it. Danielson's contract with AEW is expected to expire in September of 2024, which is about when he plans to retire from full-time in-ring action. Meltzer noted that while Tony Khan could add time due to injuries, he likely wouldn't if Danielson wanted out. During Monday's Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer reported that Bryan Danielson did not suffer the broken orbital bone last Wednesday during his match on Dynamite. According to Meltzer, he suffered the match during his match on Collision against Andrade El Idolo 4 days earlier. Per Meltzer, the injury occurred during the Andrade match when Andrade and Danielson went Andrade threw his spinning elbow. During the move, it appeared the two men inadvertently clashed their heads against one another due to some mistiming and miscommunication, and Danielson then went into his tag team matchup on Dynamite already injured, apparently not yet realizing the full severity of his broken orbital bone. However, AEW reportedly ran the injury angle to take him out during the matchup. Fightful Select reports that Danielson has been telling people that the injury happened during a basic collar and elbow tie-up. As the two locked up, Danielson caught a stray elbow or forearm, and the injury is said to be a rare freak accident. The hope is that he will be back before the end of the year, and there goes Andrade's TV time. Anyway, what do you think about this freak accident with Bryan Danielson? And I think that all these injuries are kind of telling us that, yeah, he's probably right in his decision to call it the end of his full-time career, right?
Yeah, I mean, it has to be. I mean, like,
This feels very much like I compared it. I think on Believe in Pro Wrestling this week. I was like, my favorite wrestler of all time is Bryan Danielson. The last time I had a favorite in something, I watched them have one of the greatest careers of all time. And then their last few years, it was spent with a whole bunch of injuries until he just decided that the last year was the last year. Yes, Bryan Danielson is Kobe Bean Bryant.
Yeah. I mean, it's I just want it to be where he is in the place to make the decision. Like, you don't want that taken away from you. Like, if that is his trajectory, which it's a good trajectory because he has multiple kids now. So he might, to be able to be fully functional and still be fully able physically and do all of that stuff and watch his girls grow up. You want to be able to do that and not be limited or actually witness it and remember it. Because, that's the scariest thing if you're leaving is like head injuries, neck injuries, or anything like that. And he has a history of both. So you want him to be able to go out on his own terms. But if these little, it's like almost like these, like, I don't know in life. It's like in life, it's like these like little warning shots keep coming at you. It's like these little warning shots, like,
yeah,
yo, this is it. Make it now. This is it. Or something's going to happen that's going to be out of your control. Like, I'm a big believer in shit like that. Like, these little things, it's like, all right, you can recover from a broken arm. You can recover from a broken orbital bone. Don't let something else happen. So it's like, yeah. So, and I would just say whoever, and that's all of us, I would say enjoy this final year that we have of him, because
enjoy the final countdown.
You gotta know when it's like, yo, how many things can you shatter on your body before it becomes chronic or permanent? Like you just don't want to keep risking it, and especially when you got children. Like, if he was somebody that was, if he was like divorced or single and had no kid, like he had nothing to like look forward to. He has more than enough money. Like, yo, go off into the sunset. You're you're first ballot, whatever wrestling Hall of Fame that there's going to obviously whenever the WWE is going to do it. And it just kind of stinks that WWE is like the only actual meaningful Hall of Fame in wrestling.
It's
Like,
not meaningful at all, actually.
I know, but what I mean is,
it's the one that's acknowledged the most.
but people look forward to it. Like, people will say Hall of Fame this year, Hall of Fame this year. And even though it's like it's basically a publicity stunt to sell tickets, but that's the only one that people pay attention to. And there's not an actual like professional wrestling Hall of Fame. Like there
There is, but the WWE has made themselves over the last 20 years synonymous with wrestling. So people acknowledge that one before the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, but the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame actually has credentials and criteria for the people entering it. So it's much more prestigious than the WWE, which was for the past 25 years has only been on the whims of one old, out of touch fuck bag who's been harassing women. So anyway,
completely agree with that. I just like what I mean by that is that I just wish that the pro wrestling one was more like glorified and was given like a much bigger stage for people to remember the years. Like this person got inducted this year, this person got inducted this year. No one knows that unless you look on Google.
Yeah,
unfortunately, which stinks because it's definitely one of the most popular entities on planet. But so I was just say enjoy it. And I just hope we get this match.
I just hope when he comes back in January, we can just get smooth sailing until he wants to call it a wrap. No more injuries. We don't need any more breaks. Just have your great matches and don't get into any more injuries. But
he doesn't need to be a full-blown full-time wrestler.
Yeah,
like
I think this whole end is the end of his full-time career.
Yeah, like he could still be there full-time, but he just doesn't need to have fucking 4 or 5 matches a month. Like he doesn't need to do it. Like he's earned the right to be a special attraction. Like if you're gonna put him on a pay-per-view, like make him be on the pay-per-view and then have him on TV building up to it, but you don't gotta have him in the fucking ring on fucking Dynamite and Rampage and Collision.
Definitely not in the same week anymore, please.
Yeah.
But yes, let's conclude with in NJPW last Saturday was Fighting Spirit Unleashed, which saw Shingo Takagi picking up the victory over Tama Tonga in a very good main event to win the Never Openweight Championship, regaining the gold in Tama Tonga's first defense of the title. It's back on the Dragon. Speaking of Los Ingonables de Japón, Shingo was challenged post-match by AEW star Trent Beretta. Those two will face at Lone Star Shootout next week. Also, Los Ingonables de Japón were in tag team action. They went to a 20-minute time limit draw as Sanada and Yura Uemura of Just Five Guys fought Tetsuya Naito and Hiromu Takahashi to a stalemate, previewing Naito versus Sanada for Wrestle Kingdom. They also had Eddie Kingston beat Hanare in a physically intense battle to retain the NJPW Strong Openweight Championship. Satoshi Kojima defeated Fred Rosser, Jeff Cobb, and Alex Coughlin to become the #1 contender for the NJPW Strong Openweight title. You also had Kojima. He will face Kingston at Lone Star Shootout on November 10th as well. El Phantasmo and Hikuleo beat Monster Sauce to retain the NJPW Strong Tag Team titles. And then finally, Julia retained the NJPW Strong Women's Championship against Hanyan in a solid bout as well. Some good stuff from Fighting Spirit Unleashed. If you want a more in-depth review, we're going to be dropping that over at patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat this weekend. So be on the lookout for that. But moving on to AEW Dynamite this week. Dynamite was down in the ratings, unfortunately, to 832,000 viewers. But once again, we're being given a very clear message about AEW nowadays, Top Guy JJ. The main character is MJF. And it's MJF all the time on this episode of AEW Dynamite.
TV. He was on the show like 6-7 times.
It was literally like you were watching Boy Meets World, and then Corey just kept popping up. AEW Dynamite. The show featured MJF in the main event, but unfortunately taking a pinfall loss to the #1 contender, Switchblade Jay White, as Bullet Club Gold defeated MJF, the Acclaimed, and Daddy Ass in a fun 8-man tag main event Post-match, Max Caster took the bullet for MJF when White nailed Caster with the title belt, which led to MJF finally deciding to scissor the Acclaim to end the show. We had an excellent opener to the show as Orange Cassidy defeated Claudio Castagnoli to retain the AEW International Championship. Post-match, the former champion Jon Moxley showed up to beat down and maul Cassidy before challenging him to Full Gear to a rematch. Mogul Embassy beat the Elites, Hangman Adam Page, and the Young Bucks to regain the Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team Championships after a distraction from Swerve Strickland, who said, "Whose house? I was in your house last week," which led to Hangman Adam Page leaving the Bucks for dead as they lost the titles, and Matt Jackson turning, basically showing a lot of anger in the post-match, which he would show some more later on in the night. Hikaru Shida picked up a victory over Willow Nightingale in a very good matchup to retain the AEW Women's World Championship. Post-match, Timeless Toni Storm tried to steal the spotlight from Shida again, who attacked her. Then Julia Hart showed up to confront Willow Nightingale. However, Sky Blue appeared to spit blue mist into Julia's face. The Golden Jets of Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho beat Daddy Magic, Matt Menard, and Cool Hand Angelo Parker. Post-match, the Don Callis family challenged the Jets to a street fight in 2 weeks in Ontario, California, and Omega revealed that Kota Ibushi will be one teammate, while Jericho revealed that Paul White, Tall Paul, will be the other. And after some motivation and a threat from Christian Cage, Adam Copeland finally accepted the invite of Sting and Darby Allin to team with them to face the Christian Coalition at Full Gear, and speared his former best friend to stand tall. And then later on the night, Golden Jets got into a confrontation with the Young Bucks, who basically accused Kenny Omega of being a bad friend, teasing a tag team match at Full Gear for them. So a lot of setup for Full Gear on the show, a lot of confirmation of some matches, and MJF, the main character. Any quick thoughts on Dynamite this week?
It was fairly packed show for 2 hours. Like
me and Jimmy were honestly surprised by people being so upset, because it had the one thing we always ask for Dynamite to give us that they usually don't give us: a show long narrative. If it feels like a TV show, that's what we always ask for, and it felt like a TV show. And
one thing I credit is I'm crediting what AEW is doing with Jay White. Like they're making him a big star. Like they're doing it right in front of you. Like, he was already a big star in Japan, and it obviously wrestling fans have no fucking patience whatsoever. So his first month or so in AEW, what are they doing with Jay White? What are they doing? They're just burying him. Yep. Not even.
Jimmy has not said much about them turning that around, but yes.
Like, it didn't even take them a season, and not a year-long season, a summer to fall season, until they turning him into a main event star. But, let's rag on all the other shit that they got going on that's wrong, but not give him, what they're doing with him is fucking phenomenal. And I love seeing that. And hopefully it's not too late. But I have been thinking about this whole Young Bucks thing for they have been losing entirely too much. Entirely too much.
Dave Meltzer talked about it this week, that the Young Bucks re-signed with AEW and Tony hasn't done shit with them.
It's that's their piss poor execution right now. Is they don't even. It's hopefully whatever happens with Matt Jackson explosion, whatever, or minor meltdown. Hopefully it leads to something. Obviously, it looks like it's leading to the Jets and the Bucks there. This is something that the Bucks would have to win. They can't just keep going into these things and losing. They can't keep going into these beefs and losing, because everything that they lose, whatever comes out their mouth, no one's going to fucking believe a word that they say.
True.
Winning helps your promos, and no one's going to care about them if all you fucking do is lose. So hopefully that shit changes soon. But that's been a little head scratching. Like who the fuck did they just lose these 6-man championships? Like who?
But you know what else is a head scratcher, Top Guy JJ? After seemingly debuting as a one-off for temporary guest on the October 25th edition of AEW Dynamite, All Elite Wrestling has announced that AEW has signed a multi-year deal with WWE Hall of Famer, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. In addition, AEW will make his new Woo energy drink as the new exclusive energy drink of AEW. In the announcement, it was revealed that Flair's energy drink was a part of the deal, as Khan also announced that it will become the energy drink of AEW. During AEW show dates, select host venues will carry the clean energy drink at concession stands for fans to enjoy. Fightful Select had more details on AEW signing the 74-year-old WWE Hall of Famer. According to the report, sources close to Flair stated that his contract is similar to the one Randy Savage signed with WCW in the mid-1990s, where part of Flair's contract was also a deal with the energy drink that would cover a significant amount, if not all, of Flair's contract salary for AEW. When Savage departed from WWE and signed with WCW in late 1994, he brought a lucrative Slim Jim sponsorship along with him. Eric Bischoff has previously mentioned that the Slim Jim deal paid a significant portion of Savage's WCW salary when he signed at the time. With regards to why AEW opted to sign Flair to a multi-year contract, AEW sources cited that the merchandising potential as a big possibility as to why he was signed to the roster, and being able to use Flair in merchandise, action figures, and video games are seen as potential reasons for signing Flair if they can under his new contract. Flair is 74 years old and wrestled his last match, quote unquote, in July of last year. He's also had multiple heart surgeries, including having a pacemaker installed in 2018. Ric Flair has revealed the length of his new contract with AEW. AEW revealed it was a multi-year contract, and it was revealed in an interview with the Wrestling Observer Radio that it will be for 2 years. Chad Bronstein, Flair's business partner, said, "We signed a 2-year contract with AEW. We work with AEW for 2 years. Rick is also going to be part of AEW for the next few years as well, and however long he wants." Flair then quipped, 76 and still talking. Woo! In an interview with PW Insider, Ric Flair spoke about how often he will appear on AEW television now that he has signed a multi-year contract. He said on if he will wrestle in AEW, "No, I don't think I will. If you're asking me if I want to," he laughs, "I have to be careful what I say because it never comes out correctly. I just made it very clear to everybody that I can take bumps. I have a doctor's release to do anything I want like that. Do I think I'll wrestle again? No. Would I like to? Obviously," he laughs. "I'm never going to say no. There you go." Ha ha ha. On how often he'll appear on AEW, he said, "I would like to be there as much as they want. I mean, they have a real deep roster and they come to the shows. I mean, every show is almost entirely different from that. Very few times you see people back to back, except maybe like Chris or Sting or MJF. I mean, they have a really deep roster with, which they need to produce 3 shows. So I just hope I can establish myself as an important part of it after Sting retires and continue to do something for him." Your thoughts, Top Guy JJ, on Ric Flair signed to All Elite Wrestling?
I mean, you got all this good shit that you have. You got this good stuff that you got going on. You got these cool stories, and then in the span of 3 to 5 frames or something, you've just shown me Paul White, and you show me Ric Flair.
That's not. I think these are 2.
And I'm not. They're not comparable. When I'm not.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing to compare with the 2. But you're showing me WCW again. You're showing me this. Your Turner Broadcasting Networks, and you're showing me 2 of the anchors that was there. And now they're gonna be like it just like I thought we were done with this in 2000. Like I thought we were done with this in 2000, and it's like the Ric Flair one. It's why? Like I understand the one-off gift for Sting, that would have been cool, but this is not a gift for Sting anymore. That's not a gift. You just signed the motherfucker. Like, it's not a gift anymore. He's a part of the goddamn, whatever you want to call it, alum, the roster, the fucking, the team, all elite, whatever you want to call them. That's what he is now. Explain yourselves on how the fuck do you think that this is a good idea on any element? Because you want to maybe see him have a mic joust, a promo joust with some of your
MJF.
So you're just literally wasting other talents' times so you can have yourself a joust with potentially MJF or somebody else when you could just fucking have that shit on YouTube. Like this, when you say shit that makes 0 sense, this makes 0 sense. Like this does nothing. This does nothing for this place
at all.
Like he ain't going there to fucking tutor anybody. He ain't going there to be anybody's mentor. He's literally there to collect a paycheck and collect TV time. It's literally all he's there for. He ain't gonna show up there and fucking show anybody the ropes, show anybody the way, give anybody. No, he ain't there for that. That's the nature boy.
That's not who the nature is.
He ain't there for any of that shit. Like he had one tutor lesson in his life to give, and he gave it away, and it was to Triple H. Everybody else, fuck all of y'all. Ain't none of y'all Hunter. Ain't none of y'all Sean. Like, who the fuck is no? This is a complete waste on their side. And hopefully they're gonna realize that in the next 30 to 60 days, but they're probably just gonna woo and have their fucking energy drinks and all that. Like complete fucking waste right here.
I just don't see the value in having Ric Flair in your company. Like, I understand the idea of, casual fans know him and the merchandise opportunities and action figures. I just don't understand it because of everything that has preceded this from Tony Khan that said that you wouldn't make a decision like this. The same Tony Khan who just a couple of weeks ago stood on his high horse and tweeted about Vince McMahon and his past of, sexual mixed deeds, we shall call it. When you just hired the pot, Kettle. You just hired the pot. This man went on an interview and bragged about sexually assaulting women in the 80s and getting away with it. Are you fucking kidding me? My dude, you are the same Tony Khan who stood on your moral high horse and said, Hulk Hogan and your wife. You're not even married to your wife anymore. Hulk Hogan and your wife. You can't come to AEW shows. Like you just hired Ric Flair. Like my dude. I'm not saying both things are equal, but I'm saying one guy dropped the N-bomb, the other basically sexually assaulted numerous more women over the years. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And does Ric Flair at 74 years old add anything to this product? And like, literally, we have been on in the past week. I'm sorry, I'm going off. I'm sorry.
Go.
I feel like we have been on a fucking staircase, a 16-step staircase. Yes, 16 times. 16-step staircase, and we've been falling fucking down since Ric Flair came here. We were at the top of the stairs, and we were like, oh, Ric Flair's here. And then we fell down one stair. We were like, oh, yeah, Ric Flair's here. Then we were like, okay, it's just a one-off. Then he started talking. We was like, oh. We started falling down more stairs. We was like, oh, shit. He said he here until Revolution. All right. Okay, that's just a couple of months. And then we went down all the fucking other stairs this week when we found out it's a 2-year deal. What?
Yo, that dude is going to be there till Revolution 2026, bro. Like, so whatever moral high ground that he had in any interviews,
I don't never want to hear
gone.
any of it. I don't want to
Gone.
ever hear any of it anymore.
Gone.
I'm not even saying like the wrestling business should be on some moral high ground, because this business has never been about moral high. But you tried to play yourself like you were something that you weren't, obviously, from decisions like this.
Exactly, and I think that's what he has now learned, that wrestling has no moral high ground. There isn't one. There isn't one. Because if there's a chance to make some cash, you're gonna fucking take it. And that's literally what the man just did. He ain't signed Ric Flair as a treat to fans. This wasn't a treat to fans. This is a chance to collect some cash and sell some tickets. This is literally all this is. There's nothing about this that is going to help AEW on its television monitors. There's nothing that is going to. This is to say Ric Flair is in attendance. Ric Flair is going to be in the house. This is going to help sell tickets, because I guess they can't fucking give Adam Copeland a month of shine and let him shine for a month to see how the fans generate to him. So literally 2 weeks later, we're going to sign Ric Flair. Like that, and that is one of their biggest problems, is that everything they fucking do, they hotshot everything. Like, they never let nothing marinate. They are the most unseasoned chicken in fucking wrestling. Like nothing marinates with this company. Like, everything is so fucking spontaneous, so hot, and it's like if something clicks, then they're just gonna ride it. There ain't nothing about this. Ain't nothing about this. Yeah, it was cool to see when he came out as Sting's gift. But what the fuck involvement is he supposed to have on your television screens for the next not only 3 months, because that's when Revolution is going to be Sting's final match, 3 months, 24 months?
Wait, that's another number.
So,
that's another number next to that. I just like, because people see the question in the thing, and I think that the reason I put that question in our headline here is because of the fact that it hurts their image on multiple levels. Like we just talked about, the whole moral high ground AEW and Tony Khan has been on in the past. But also we have to realize that Tony Khan didn't just come in here as like kind of teasing that he was going to be a more progressive company, and they did freaking rallies about how they were going to be this progressive company and stuff like that, and listen to the women and all this other stuff that they haven't really done. And now you got this move, which is just so in the face of it, because not only did you come in as this progressive beacon of light, you came in as a beacon of light at a time when WWE was in the doldrums, and where WWE, we had spent the past decade of WWE before AEW came in, with it relying on what? Nostalgia. And what the fuck did you do in the past month? You hired 49-year-old Adam Copeland, you brought back 50-year-old Paul White, and you hire 74 fucking years old melted candle, can barely do the strut, can barely walk up a flight of stairs without having his pacemaker reinstalled. What the fuck are you doing, Tony Khan?
This candle still got some life left, so I guess the melted candle, I guess it's almost out. It's almost out. So hopefully we don't see a candle expire on live television.
Oh man. Like your line hit me like smacked me in the face. I was like, oh man.
Yo, that's why I brought up Paul White and the Ric Flair and the same, because that's why I felt it literally, it's what that's what they did. And then obviously, as WWE copied them hard body, and literally having special appearance by Stone Cold, or a special appearance by this, and now You thought Paul White was going to draw attention, and I guess if you're live in attendance, that's kind of cool to see, because you're probably not going to see another AEW show for another at least 2 years at minimum. So you got to see that. That's cool. But this is now on our television screens as a story to remember. And now when you go home and you realize the following week that you are now a part of this program that you just saw Paul White on, and that you just saw fucking the Nature Boy Ric Flair on, and now you're realizing they're a part of the 2 hours that you have now to watch. Now you start to realize, and people are like, oh, they're holding back this person. They're holding back that person. What about this person, Sean? What about this person's push? Well, there it fucking goes, because there's 30 minutes of your fucking TV time gone. Because guess who's in a heavy storyline? Christian Cage, Adam Copeland, and all of them. And guess who's a part of that now? Fucking, you have Darby Allin, Sting, Ric Flair. If I said Adam Copeland's name twice, good. Because that's 30 minutes of your fucking TV time every week now until this is over.
Hey, I'm fine with the Copeland and Christian story.
Copeland and Christian.
That's been entertaining and great every week. We don't need Ric Flair involved.
Bro, that's gonna be the only thing that literally saves the entire segment every fucking time that they're on, is Copeland and Christian's presence. That's literally gonna be the only thing that saves this. And God, you know, God bless you, Sting. God bless you, Sting. That you gotta go through this.
God bless you, Sting, that they booked a whole retirement angle that's gonna last months for you. And the best example of your career was the first thing that they did was Tony Khan bringing in someone that has stole the spotlight from you for your entire career, and that's what he's here to do. The Nature Boy Ric Flair stealing Sting's spotlight. I think that's a microcosm of Sting's whole entire WCW run.
Like, you're gonna announce you got a gift for Sting, and then you sign him. like
sign a gift. Sign a giveaway. But
it's a business decision that only positively affects your brand. And it ain't gonna be positive.
RPG's is saying the progressive rah-rah was when the Elite actually had power and Cody was trying to be second in charge. I did say when I saw this decision, I was like, yeah, there's another clear sign that the Elite don't have any power, it seems like. Like, they re-signed as EVPs, but I think that's just a title at this point. We got another comment here from Vala B, who says this does hurt AEW image-wise, but most people need to stop saying that AEW is done. And I agree with you, SP3 and Top Guy. Yeah, I'm not at the doom and gloom, and I put that in my original tweet when I said this was one of their worst decisions, is that it's not the end of the company at all. The company's still gonna go, it's still gonna be strong, but you do things to hurt your image. And like WWE is doing everything in their power to hurt your image, because now they're the babyface company. They're improving. They've reformed their image. I have people being like, oh, no one even is going to care about that Ric Flair stuff. I was like, okay, there's a point to be made there, because Vince McMahon came out on WWE television last year and got cheered like he was fucking God, despite having sexual allegations out there against him. But there also needs to be the people that just want to acknowledge that fact and don't want to acknowledge the fact when Vince McMahon was removed, people came back to the product. So yes, not having people that are problematic does actually bring people back to your product.
So I gotta ask this question, and this is rhetorical, so I don't need a yes or no. When people read, and people read columns, do people really have this such simplified imagination where you turn one opinion into a gloom and doom of something, compared to it just being an opinion that a business made? Like, the business made doesn't mean the business is coming to an end, doesn't mean it's coming to a close, but you can make dumbass decisions during your existence that we are going to talk about, and it will either be positive or not positive. This happens to be a decision that's not positive.
Yeah. Guys, WCW was the hottest company in wrestling in 1996 and most of 1997. What WWE do? They started actually focusing on new stars and building stuff up. 1997, they weren't the hottest company, but they had one of their greatest years of all time with like the Hart Foundation, Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Rise of the Rock, DX, all that other stuff. They just kept it going along, and then 1998, they changed everything around and they became the hottest company. So it's very easy to go from the hottest company to not hot anymore. And I feel that's where AEW is at. The AEW, for the longest time since its inception, has been the hot company. It's been the babyface company. It's been the cool company. It's not any of those things anymore.
And this Twitter thing, X comment, if this is where your dialogue and your stories and your intel is coming from, not you personally, but this is where it's coming from the masses and the consensus. With all due respect, you're an idiot to begin with. Because you're not getting a full fucking news clip in 100 and whatever characters that you have to do, and then you have to spread it amongst how many fucking X's or tweets or whatever the fuck you want to do. And for how many years and how long have we known that shit is the literal internet poison? Twitter is the literal internet poison. It's the literal internet poison.
Yes. This is
but that's what they're saying on Twitter. That's what they're saying. No shit. That's what they're saying on Twitter. No shit.
That cesspool. The cesspool on Twitter.
No shit. Because there's a bunch of mindless fucks that has access to touchscreen devices, and their non-spelling, uneducated asses has the ability to create an account, make a stupid password that probably their password is probably I suck balls, and then they get to go on there, and then they get to tweet. Like, they get to do this, and they have the same access as us. These are the same mindless minions. There's millions of them, and that's the problem. There's millions of these motherfuckers. So yeah, it's gonna be on Twitter. It's gonna be on there.
So to make matters worse for Tony Khan this week, on the same week that he announces Ric Flair as the newest member of the AEW roster, he spent most of the week since like last Saturday hyping an important announcement on this week's AEW Dynamite. An important announcement. And I know there's been people.
I was so mad.
I know there's been people. I know there's been people that have compared the Tony Khan announcements to like Dissy Carter, or saying they always let you down. Nah. Like you know when
had a major announcement, bro.
You know when someone tells you we're at rock bottom, and then like a couple of months later you lose your job, you lose your wife, you lose your kids and stuff like that, and you be like, nah, this is rock bottom. This what that felt like. All the other announcements, y'all try to tell me that wasn't a letdown. That wasn't a major announcement. That was an important announcement. And I was able to come up with a way of why he would think that was a major important announcement. There is nothing I can tell you for Tony Khan announcing when tickets will go on sale for AEW All In 2024. His important announcement on fucking Dynamite was that tickets for the London show will go on sale to the general public on December 1st with a pre-sale on November 27th. An August 25th, 2024 show. Why the fuck is that an important announcement?
Nigga, in August. It's in August. And you have, see, again, this is what we're going to talk. They're not dead. This company is not over, and they're not canceled next week. But what the fuck? You are telling me that you had your publicist waste time building a font using this background to say he has a major announcement to tell us that tickets to a show is going on sale? Tickets to a show. I don't care what show it is. You're going to sit here and tell me that you're posting on social media that a motherfucker has a major announcement and it's for tickets to a show? Yep. I dare anybody on the planet to defend that shit. Because you know where you would belong? You would belong in the Twitterverse with the rest of them mindless fucks with the suck my balls password.
Sucking balls. Sucking. Tony Khan made us suck all the balls. Just fucking
like,
I need to breathe. I need to breathe. I don't get mad at
but I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
I wanted to jump through the screen and just grab him by the shirt. Like how Wardlow grabbed MJF on Dynamite. I want to do that to Tony. Like, what? Like, what? You wasting time? Like, my nigga, you didn't even need to hype this. You could have just popped up on the screen. You could have just popped up on the screen and said
literally. The announcement is not good. Nigga, that shit wasn't an announcement. That shit was an infomercial that had a fucking Instagram post.
No, it's the perfect example of the office meeting that could have been an email. That's the ultimate example of such. But finishing up with news before we get into Rampage and Collision, big injuries have happened for AEW, which has caused a lot of creative changes as of late. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports
that
bad
week for AEW.
It's been a bad month.
And even though that show wasn't that bad, and that's the problem.
No. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that injuries to several wrestlers in All Elite Wrestling's main event scene caused changes to long-term booking plans in All Elite Wrestling. Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson, and Jon Moxley all went down with injuries in recent weeks. Although Moxley is already back, the Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that all three were factored into key things and a lot had to be changed with their injuries. This was all in a domino effect with changes to all plans, and plans are made, and when something happens to interrupt those plans, everything is scrapped and they start over. Obviously, with Moxley, the changes can be seen on screen for AEW programming, and Audible was called to give Rey Fenix the international title, who then lost it to Orange Cassidy, the man who Moxley beat to win it. Now Moxley and Cassidy will face each other at Full Gear. It was noted that the original plan was for Mox to hold the title for a long time, and that doesn't necessarily mean he will win the title back at the pay-per-view. But what do you think about all these injuries to AEW? But I think that a lot of people need to realize this is probably the best we've ever seen a second promotion, a clear number 2 promotion as far as roster, as far as what they bring on screen, and as far as a number 2 promotion with as much trouble that they have been in the past year, from the Punk stuff, from the Sammy stuff, to the fights backstage, to all this stuff with Ric Flair, and image-wise, what's happened in the past year. They're still so good to watch. It's crazy.
To a degree, it's almost like, obviously this is going to be like a yearly thing. Like every year we deal with, it's kind of like sports. Like every year you're going to deal with injuries. Quite frankly, this is probably one of the healthier years that they've had. Considering, obviously we know we got some big name injuries. We know we got some big names that's out. But talking at the same time a year ago, holy hell, there was a laundry list of motherfuckers that was not active. We had literally an active Kenny Omega fighting through injuries. You couldn't have Samoa Joe on TV to save your fucking life because he was always on the shelf. You have, and I'm gonna be missing people, but there is so many guys like that. Claudio was a fucking injury prone person, and now he's one of the healthy guys, which is, it's kind of like a trade-off. It's like a trade-off, unfortunately, but it's almost like the trade-off is kind of in our favor this year. Not to say that, we don't want anybody to really be hurt, but the injury list, I just feel like it's a little shorter this year. It's not as extensive.
It happened earlier. It happened, beginning of summer last year with Punk, Adam Cole, and Bryan Danielson going down. And then
you had
this one has happened later in the year at the very least.
And you got, and then, so obviously you got your big ones now is Adam Cole, and you have Bryan Danielson that's out right now.
But now we know Bryan will be back in
Bryan
January.
is coming, but when Bryan is coming back. The one that we just have no idea about is Adam Cole.
And that's a big one because he's a part of the biggest storyline that's going on.
Yeah. And that it's just like the timing of when that happened, it just really sucks because it's unfortunately he just damn. Like, he was really like it took him so long to come back from the head injury. And then now he got this fucking freak accident that took place. And this might actually be a longer recovery than the previous one. And it's because it's in so many places. So that's going to suck because he's going to be out for a really long time. So it's like the people that's hurt is like massively important, but it just doesn't feel like it's as many as it was.
That's true. That is true. I know you got a jet in like 5 minutes. Can I just run through the rest of AEW real quick before we
sure.
So they had Rampage last night. The show featured Daniel Garcia beating Trent Beretta in a good main event. Post-match, Garcia challenged AEW World Champion MJF, and MJF accepts. We got an AEW World Title match this Wednesday on Dynamite. We also saw the Guns defeated Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal in another impressive win for them ahead of their ROH World Tag Team title shot. You had Sky Blue beat Marina Shafir, and in an awesome three-way opener, you had Penta El Zero Miedo beating Commander and El Hijo del Vikingo. And then you had AEW Collision last Saturday. They did 472,000 viewers, but it honestly featured one of the very best AEW TV matches of all time as MJF defeated Kenny Omega in an absolutely fantastic 30-minute main event to retain the AEW World Championship, thanks to a little distraction from Don Callis. Jay White also defeated AR Fox in a fun opener to the show ahead of Full Gear. You had Ricky Starks picking up a win over Dax Harwood in a solid bout. You also saw post-match House of Black look to join Starks and Bill to beat down FTR until the faction Ingonables made their return to have FTR's back and turn babyface. You had Hikaru Shida. She picked up another victory on the show over Abaddon in a Fright Night fight to retain the AEW Women's World Championship. Any thoughts on MJF officially becoming the longest reigning AEW World Champion with a classic bout with Kenny Omega last Saturday, Top Guy JJ?
That was a pay-per-view fucking match. Like, holy shit. Like, that was a pay-per-view match. That was amazing, actually. I was acting, damn. Well deserved. Well deserved. I mean, I don't think there's really much to talk about this. I mean, MJ, we've literally seen the growth, the development, and the climb literally in front of our faces from day one. We've seen it. And this was bound to happen. It's happened. And this is another one of those things that AEW has done right. So they've done it right. And the fact that I don't think that anybody would expect that this would be an MJF that is doing this as a semi-babyface. So, like, I don't think anybody saw that coming. So like, awesome stuff. MJF is a true treasure in the business. Like, and if you feel otherwise, then you either have no sense of humor or you just have fucking no fun bones in your body, and you're probably a virgin.
Well, goddamn. I wanted to ask you, is MJF now officially to you the greatest AEW World Champion of all time?
Nah, I'm still rolling with Jon Moxley for now. I'm still rolling with Jon Moxley because of that banner that he carried for so long. Like basically he had the company on his back. Like I don't feel like the company is on MJF's back. MJF is just not doing anything to deter it. Like
I think the company is on his
like
he's clearly the number one draw,
he's
the number one guy. Yeah.
There's just so many pieces right now that is interested in AEW right now. Like this Swerve Strickland is like holy shit. The rise of Swerve Strickland right now is fucking real. Like this rise of Christian Cage of what he's been doing. Like there's so much great parts that's around him right now. It doesn't like say if he wasn't on TV, I don't feel like the show would entirely suffer without him being on.
No, it's not at that Roman level yet. But I think that they have clearly made him like the most important.
Yeah.
This is the first time that I ever feel like AEW has their version of John Cena. Babyface MJF feels like their version of John Cena. Their main
and you know what? And this opinion could literally change in 2-3 months. Like because
I think I honestly at this point I think he's the greatest.
Like because I feel like once he accomplishes this defeating of Jay White, like the list of people that he will have beat as champion, top it off, and that's it.
I mean, he posted the list of the
and he
people
eclipsed a year. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like so, he's like, I don't mean like it's a mile. It's literally it's right there. It's right there because I just remember how special Jon Moxley's AEW title run was. That's basically it. But I think MJF is literally he's about to take that shit like in any month now.
Ricky Starks, Bryan Danielson, Ethan Page, Sammy Guevara, Jungle Boy, Darby Allin, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Adam Cole, Samoa Joe, Kenny Omega. Those are the list of the guys.
That's his list, yeah.
Who's fitting as AEW World Champion.
And it started off as not so impressive, and then it just got hella impressive at the end.
Hell yeah. But I know you gotta go, Top Guy JJ. So we appreciate you for joining us this morning. Please let the people know where they can follow you on social media and when they'll see you back here on the flagship.
I hope to be back here soon, man. But it was good to make it. First week of November, so we made it. So we have completed 11 not full episodes, but we've completed 11 of these bitches. You can find me at Tru Heel _Top Guy JJ. That's the same thing would be for, Twitch, but I've barely been on that shit as of late. I've been too busy for it. And on the Tru Heel Heat Sports channel with the guys when we get to do like the live, whether it's hopefully we're doing some streams tomorrow because I'm actually off tomorrow. Woohoo! Marathon. Can't go to work.
Hey.
Not happening. Not going to work because of the marathon. There's no way I'm traveling to fuck Staten Island and through that shit tomorrow. So yeah, I'm home. So yeah, there we go. And then on future streams, we've been doing Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, things of that nature. If the game is worth it, my Titans fucking lost a heartbreaker, but I liked what I saw. But yeah, that's the next time you can find me. They do their fucking reviews and their previews way too early for me, so I could barely ever make them shits. So hopefully, if they ever do some of these shits at nighttime, I might be able to make a lot more of these reviews. But I know, I'm over here co-hosting with a papa over here, so he got to do shit early.
And I did Collision Discourse. Monday at like 7 p.m. You didn't answer me. You didn't answer. I messaged the chat. I was like, anybody want to do this review with me?
Oh, I was swimming, and I'll tell you, I was swimming in schedule hell because I was at that exact Monday. I was creating the December schedule, and I just said, "Fuck my life." That's literally. That's why I literally put the phone down. I was like, "Nah, I'm not doing nothing. I'm not doing." Like my brain just disappeared for like 24 hours on that Monday because I just said, "Yep, this future is." It's going to be busy. It's going to be somewhat fun, but I'm going to be non-existent.
We understand.
Yeah, there's your answer.
There we understand, sir. So we appreciate you joining us today, and hopefully we'll see you to end off 2023. Appreciate you, sir.
I definitely could do that. I could pop in, but for a show,
But enjoy
Anyhow.
work, sir. I will see you soon.
Peace.
We got in the chat here Vala B, who says, I'll try to explain AEW right now. Outside of its image as a product alone, they got a lot of stuff marinating in the fridge, but they don't have a pan to cook that shit yet. I'm waiting on that pan. This might be one of the best analogies I've seen in the chat. Vala B, well done, well done, well done. But I am not going to be doing the rest of the show alone. Unfortunately, we got our special guest, Greg Cherry, couldn't be with us, but I got an even better. I got an even better or just as good of a special guest. He's usually in the backstage area with providing us with all the great pictures we will see for the rest of the show, but he has to step in and only make his fourth appearance on the show after 249 episodes where he's been backstage for most of them. It is baby Seth back on your screens. Oh my God, he's here.
You had to tag me in, I see. You had to go for the hot tag, brother.
Hot tag. my arch nemesis. I have to team with my arch nemesis here.
You know, this is what desperation will do to you. Like TK had to go to Ric Flair. You had to go to me, man. We're just desperate out in these streets.
Desperation is a mother.
It's a mug.
It's a mug. It's a mug out here. We got a bunch of comments in the chat I want to feature. Keep those comments coming in the chat. We appreciate all of y'all joining us live here. And of course, your super chat donations are so important. Helps out the channel. I got babies to put diapers on. Johnny gonna have babies soon. He got to get ready for his wedding. So send those super chat donations, y'all. We got Chris in the chat who says, to me, MJF is greatest AEW World Heavyweight Champion in history. I asked Top Guy JJ, gotta ask you, what do you think? Where does MJF rank as the greatest AEW World Champions of all time?
I mean, he's definitely one of the more interesting ones. So I can't disagree with that. I mean, I think hopefully if he resigns, he still has a long way to go. And it's a young company too. So it's like the list is very small. But yeah, I can't argue that. Like, you could say Kenny too. You could say Mox. Like, you're not wrong with either of those.
I think it's a 3-horse race. I think that the guys that have the strongest arguments are Kenny for his reign, where he just felt like he was like the biggest star in wrestling when he was holding or when the belt collector and all that stuff. And Moxley, who's just been like the heartbeat of this company. You know, they put the title on him. He held the title for nearly a year during the pandemic at that as well. So I think those guys make the best arguments. I think after that, you got someone like Hangman Page because the title defenses were just so spectacular. But I think MJF's catalog of title matches is even better. I would take the Iron Man.
You just listed them. Yeah, definitely. You just listed them. So that Iron Man match is the match of the year contender for sure. So it made that fucking pay-per-view from what I remember.
Yeah, and even the four pillars feud and build up wasn't good, but the match was
good. The match was great. We saw two dudes sink and two dudes swim after that build up for sure.
We saw the space between the four pillars because Darby became this very interesting character who had AR Fox over here, the Swerve and the Mogul Embassy over here. He got Christian Cage over there, Luchasaurus there. Like, he just became so interesting with the feuds that he got into after four pillars. And then and at least with Jack and Sammy, we saw some change after that. Jack turns heel, and Sammy eventually grows apart.
That sucked for them. It's like after that, TK needs a new construction for those pillars.
Rebuilding is already getting started. And we got Vala B in the chat that says, this might be my first live Baby Seth show. There you go.
Hey!
Even JJ reacting in the chat. We bring you in at a perfect time because we got a last bit of AEW news before we get into WWE, and of course, we're talking about CM Punk, your favorite in the world.
Of course, he took a shit, so we have to talk about it. Did he wipe? What did he use? How many plies?
Was in a two-ply. CM Punk made a joke about his time in All Elite Wrestling while doing commentary for Cage Fury Fighting Championship. Punk was on the commentary team on Friday Night Show, and during the broadcast, he was talking about the lore behind one of the fights when his broadcast colleague John Morgan said, "Amazing. You see what happens when you let CM Punk book a show? Punk quickly quit back. You get an entertaining show." When Morgan asked if anyone ever thought about giving Punk his own show where he was in control of the direction, and Punk joked, "No, nobody's ever thought about that." He then said, "Where am I? Tanuka, Mississippi? All right." Following the news of Ric Flair signing with AEW, CM Punk took to his diary, aka Instagram story, where he wrote, "Sometimes your value isn't seen until your absence is felt."
Oh,
What do you think about CM Punk saying something and creating news headlines?
Well, I don't get the joke. What was the Tunica joke about?
I don't know what the Tunica part was about. I don't know if
Okay,
that was
like,
the last show he did, maybe. I don't know.
nah, I thought it was like All In, wasn't it?
Well, last Collision show.
Oh, the Collision show. He did a
Yeah.
Collision show after All In?
No. He did a Collision before All In. That was his last TV AEW TV.
And that was and it was the week before, right? Because it was taped, or it was at Dynamite, whatever.
I think it was like a
Hey,
Dynamite Collision taping or something like that. Yeah.
listen, he was booking some good Collision shows, in my opinion. But aside from maybe the weird 1 week transition, I think Collision has still been good with Danielson at the helm. So I can't say that it's been, there's more cohesion, which I don't dislike. Also, like I never agreed with the soft brand split that they were trying to do. That was a dumb solution to a problem that TK should have stopped a year in advance. But let's not get into that. But okay, he said something. Great. Let's move on.
Yes, basically.
That's not news. I'm sorry.
Big Man Dog saying MJF's run is the best from an in-ring perspective, but I still prefer Mox and Kenny's as of now. But MJF's run isn't even over yet, so it can change. That's fair. That's fair.
Has room to improve, has room to get worse. Who the fuck knows?
We don't know. We got Vala B who says, "Did you wash your ass?" Nick Hausman to the CM.
Does he have a bidet? These are the questions that the public wants to know.
We need to know. A new report has some details on how WWE's new deal to bring SmackDown back to the USA Network could potentially affect AEW's next TV rights deal. As reported, it was announced last month that WWE had signed a new TV rights deal for SmackDown that will see the show move to the USA Network starting in the 2024-2025 season. Fightful Select has spoken with a number of people and reports that NBC Universal was eager to get the rights to SmackDown, as it's been viewed as WWE's top show in terms of viewership and being football proof in terms of ratings. According to the contacts at Warner Brothers Discovery, the network expects NBC Universal and USA Network to also make a bid for the TV rights to the NBA. The NBA has been on TNT for years, and should NBC Universal get the rights, it would be expected to affect the budget that could exist for new TV rights for Raw and WWE NXT. The NBA is expecting to get a major increase for their TV rights in 2025 and 2026. Obviously, if WBD lost the NBA, that would also have an effect on WBD's budget. WBD contacts have said they are very happy with their relationship with AEW and look to have it continue. The network had anticipated everything that's happened with AEW ratings, particularly in terms of Collision going against college football during the fall, and AEW and WBD had not come to terms on a new deal as of a few weeks ago that would include the AEW TV rights, pay-per-views, and the library. According to people at Warner Brothers Discovery, Tony Khan has a particular value that he believes the AEW library sits at. Fightful Select also reports that as of this morning, those that they had spoken to in AEW didn't know what Tony Khan's announcement would have been, but of course we know now it was nothing. But yes. What do you think about all this news and the potential of this whole NBA TV rights affecting WWE and AEW's TV rights?
I mean, I don't watch the NBA, so I don't really care about that.
You
I know,
should.
I know that's your thing, bro. Let that be your thing. That's cool. It's great. But
What are you too busy watching Rock of Love from 2005 or something? What the hell are you on? What the hell are you watch?
We're watching fucking 15 hours of wrestling a fucking week, trying to keep up to understand what's going on.
You don't need to. You produce this show. You don't need to watch 15 hours of wrestling. Watch 3 hours of this podcast.
I fall asleep on half of it anyway, so that's why I gotta be on this show to fucking remind me what I missed. I mean, I hope there's money to be made around here, folks. That's all I know. Okay, so fucking, I hope TK gets as much money as possible. I hope WWE gets as much money as possible. It's great for the wrestling business as a whole. It's like, it's so weird the dynamic we're in. It's like, I don't want to say that viewership has been the lowest, but at least in terms of cable ratings, it's the lowest. But I don't think that's the full story, obviously, with online shit, and Nielsen ratings doesn't have all the homes anyway. But it just seems.
I think it was this week. This week, Dave Meltzer was talking about, like, if you compare it and really look at the numbers, AEW is actually doing better than what WCW did. Like, if WCW was in 2023, they would be lower. Like, the ratings they got then, how it equivalates to what it is in 2023.
Not at their peak, though. At their peak?
No, he literally said WCW from 1997, from 1996 through 1999. That's their peak.
Really?
Yeah, he said this would be better. If you put AEW with this same rating based on the numbers in 2023 in that year plan, they would be higher ratings than WCW.
That's interesting. I would need to see what he's. I need to see this article and his data, I guess. But
well, it was a tweet. I think that he's gonna put more data, he said, on the Observer newsletter next week.
Well, my point being is, like, okay, well, I thought viewership wasn't as high, but it's like they're making more money regardless because the fans are spending more or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, WWE is on fire. Good for them. As long as it's good for the wrestling business altogether, I'm all for it. Even if, like, we have problems with AEW's booking at the moment. Obviously, we don't want them to fail. So,
of course,
just want them to do better. Fuck it.
Exactly. Big Van Dog says, isn't it really bad for WWE since Fox has way more viewers? I mean, Fox definitely has way more viewers because it's on regular broadcast television, not cable television. But I think that they'll still probably do like 2 million, just under 2 million for SmackDown when it goes to. It's
going to be like Raw.
USA.
It's going to be like Raw numbers, probably.
Basically. Got Santo in the chat. Thanks for joining us, Santo. Appreciate you, good brother. And we got Fala B who says AEW has like a 0.0001% chance ratings drop in over last year after cord cutting and the Nielsen changes. Yeah, it's like very small of a change, and a lot of people are actually surprised by that. So despite people focusing on the numbers being down year over year, they're still doing well based on the stuff that everybody is dropping.
Right. Percentage wise, I guess.
Yes. But final AEW news, just a little quick note here. AEW released a new music video that pays tribute to its women's division, which features Grammy Award-winning singer Doja Cat, and also features in the video Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, Chris Statlander, Tony Storm, Nyla Rose, Ruby Soho, Saraya, Willow Nightingale, Hikaru Shida, and more. It features Doja Cat's song Paint the Town Red, released back in August. Fightful Select reports that the video was a pretty straightforward shoot that was done a couple of weeks back. Did you watch the video, Johnny?
I saw clips.
Oh, okay. I was
cool.
gonna ask you. Cool. I was gonna ask you like what Jimmy told me on AE Ramble this week. He was like, Saraya in the video. He was like, he never finds Saraya attractive, but that video, she was doing all this.
Well, I'm gonna have to do some research now.
He's like, I'm gonna have to watch the video back now.
I think I've seen better videos of Saraya, if you know what I'm saying.
Whoa. Like we said earlier, Bryan Danielson in 2006 is not the Bryan Danielson in 2023. Just like the Saraya in 2012 in those videos is not the Saraya we have in 2023. I'm just saying. Some things have changed.
Some things have indeed changed. Got a couple of bolt-ons since then. and a couple times also.
Moving on to WWE. WWE SmackDown last night. The show featured LA Knight and Roman Reigns having their final showdown ahead of WWE Crown Jewel, where Roman Reigns called LA a redneck version of his cousin. And Knight was unfazed in saying he will make Roman Reigns bleed today at Crown Jewel. Meanwhile, there was a murder on SmackDown. It was a murder. John Cena, with his raspy voice, committed another verbal murder as he called Solo Sikoa a bargain basement Taz ripoff ahead of their Crown Jewel clash. Kevin
Just
Owens,
another victim.
Kevin Owens beat Austin Theory in his return bout on SmackDown. He also had Pretty Deadly pick up a win in the Donnybrook matchup over the Brawling Brutes. Charlotte Flair and Shotzi picked up a win over the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions on the show, Chelsea Green and Piper Niven in a non-title match. And Bianca Belair defeated Bayley in a good main event. Post-match, Belair put Bayley through the commentary table with the KOD. Did John Cena need to commit murder last night? John,
I mean, that's his MO. So that's the McMahon #1 babyface way, man. It's just
just mark a young child. This young child. He need to learn his lesson from Austin. Now this felt like a lot different than the Austin Theory burn. Like,
that's what I was gonna ask you. I haven't watched it yet, so how was it compared to that? Yeah.
I would say like the way I compare it, I said it on Sportskeeda last, I'll say it here, is that Austin Theory was like an older like college football player coming back to high school and picking on a freshman and then pulling their pants down in front of the whole school. That's what that Austin Theory promo was. This was more of like the college football player sees a new freshman to the college and basically slaps him across the face and pats him on the head.
All right, just a little, hey, sport. What's up, Tiger?
Yeah.
Give him a little condescending nickname, just testing the waters there, see what he could take, see what he can't take, sort of thing. All right, I get you.
Yeah, it felt more like that.
You have watched too many 90s sitcoms with these analogies, so.
I'm full of them. Moving on to some news here. We had PW Insider had notes on 2 wrestlers that may appear on today's WWE Crown Jewel Premium Live event. It was wrong slide. It was noted that Kairi Sane may be returning to WWE as soon as today's event. There was some confusion regarding her status yesterday, but the word now is that her return is imminent after being added to the company's internal roster. We also have the report that Grayson Waller may be added to the show. He was no longer advertised for this weekend's domestic live events. And after conflicting reports regarding whether Kairi Sane was back on the WWE's eternal roster, PW Insider now reports that Kairi has been added as of 2 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday. The report reiterates that when they asked earlier in the day, they were told that Kairi had not been added to the eternal roster. The same sources later reached out to say she was added this afternoon and has not been assigned a brand as of yet. The reports of Kairi being added to WWE's roster are no longer conflicting, but also PW Insider has reported that Kairi should be at Crown Jewel and is expected in Saudi Arabia. Fightful Select reports that WWE wanted to make the signing of Sane a priority this year, and she was actually brought up last year as a potential return when WWE is bringing back several people in 2022, but it never happened at the time, and there have been creative plans already pitched for Sane when she comes back. Her return isn't something that WWE has tried to keep a secret. It has been kind of suggested that maybe Kairi Sane will reunite with her Kabuki Warriors tag team partner, Asuka, but what do you see with Kairi Sane? Do you see her getting involved in the women's title match? And do you see her realigning with Asuka or maybe even partnering up or feuding with Io Sky?
There's a lot of possibilities there, and there's a lot of great possibilities, even more importantly. Like I always just compare this to like AEW. Like, oh, what if AEW got her instead? And it's like, what are the great matches we could see there? And there's a few, but I think the potential for WWE great matches are better. The storylines are better for women. Like they're treated on a more equal level. So it's like when the women are on, it's to me, it's not, oh, this is the women's segment. It's just the wrestlers are on, and this is Io Sky and Bailey, and this is Kairi Sane and Asuka. It's not like this is the women's segment like in AEW. So kudos to WWE for getting her back, man.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you that it's the right decision for her if she was picking between WWE and AEW, because WWE right now feels like they are having a reinvestment into their women's division. Meanwhile, we're still got the same complaints about AEW.
Yeah. Doja Cat YouTube videos aside.
Of course. Saraya doing this dance aside. We got in the comments, Big Man Dog says, I love Cena burying everyone because he is a legend and nobody can say anything back. Yeah, I love the fact that there is a chance that John Cena does not let people know what he's going to say before he sends it out there. I think there is definitely a chance that happens.
I don't doubt it, man. Sink or swim with him. Didn't it happen to Roman back in the day, like 2017?
2017?
You're just a bitch. That's what I remember. he's like the guy who got burned, and all he can say,
like, I can't leave because you can't do this. Oh my God.
Well, you're a bitch.
Your mother. In another star who is set to make their return to the WWE, PW Insider is reporting that AJ Styles is scheduled for next week's SmackDown taping on November 10th in Columbus, Ohio. He will then appear regularly. Styles has been out of action since September when he was written out of WWE storylines due to an attack from the Bloodline. Do you think that we get AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns one more again? Either, I won't say this year because we've already got the report Roman is done for the rest of the year after today, but at Royal Rumble. Yeah,
that would be dope. That was supposed to be Survivor Series, right?
Yeah,
or Crown Jewel, maybe, or one of those.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. It felt like how they were booking it that it was going to be AJ before we got to LA Knight, but LA Knight was too hot. They just went with LA Knight first.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. They had a good match back in the day too, right? Like around 2018.
A pair of great matches in 2016 when AJ first came. That's what made Vince believe. No, when Roman was champ and AJ challenged him.
Ah, okay. When he was the pit bulldog.
Yes, that's when he first. I think he first started interacting with Gallows and Anderson because they were doing that whole feud with Roman and the Usos.
I don't remember.
This man has the worst memory of anyone I've ever done this show with.
I gotta make room for new shit, man. 15 hours of wrestling a week.
There. WWE Raw this week, the ratings were down, unfortunately, going against the NFL, of course. 1.391 million viewers. The show featured Damian Priest beating Sami Zayn via disqualification in the main event following interference from Jey Uso and the Judgment Day. Post-match, Cody Rhodes came down to make the save and delivered a crossroads to JD McDonough on the commentary table. Speaking of JD, he lost earlier in the night to Seth Rollins in a very good matchup. We also got an outstanding Drew McIntyre video package in an empty PC telling his story over the last 3 years. Ricochet picked up a loss to Dominic Mysterio thanks to help from JD McDonough and Rhea Ripley. For some reason, The Miz seemingly turned babyface by standing up to Intercontinental Champion Gunther. This led to a fatal four-way being set up to determine the next number one contender for the championship on next week's show. And you also had DIY picking up a win over Imperium in a good tag team bout. And we saw the main roster debut of the Creed brothers as they defeated Alpha Academy in a great tag team matchup. What do you think about the Creeds making their way to Raw? And do you think that we're seeing also, because like I said, we're seeing a renewed focus on women's wrestling over the last couple of weeks since Vince McMahon got sat in the corner by Ari Emanuel. And now it seems this week we're seeing a renewed focus in the tag team division. What do you think?
I mean, good, because actually that's one of the things I fast forward, and I fast forwarded the two tag matches this week also because
You shouldn't. Those are good matches.
Well, I'm not accustomed to thinking that WWE cares about the tag team division, so like I've got to save time somewhere, so I just fast forward to their tag team shit.
You got to rewind and go back, man.
I'll catch the trees on the pay-per-views. when I actually get to see them and they impress me, then I'll go back. And I did see DIY come out, but they had new music, and I was like, nah, I ain't fucking with this.
Was trash.
I ain't fucking with this. God. If you don't get me in the first 3 seconds, I'm out.
My dude, like Def Rebel is the worst in-house music they've ever had.
What is that? Is that the dudes? Is it like
that's the new Jim Johnston, aka the new what was it? CFO.
My bad. Yeah.
CFO.
They were fucking great. Jim Johnston's a legend.
They were great. That NXT generation of music.
Yes.
Listen to that shit.
That helps, man. That helps keep my attention, and I'm sure for a lot of people too. Like, do I want to see this? Okay, I'll finish the song. Okay, let's do this match. Oh, that was great. Boom, and now I want to see them. But you couldn't hook me in the first 3-5 seconds. I'm out. I'm out.
Deuces. WWE did not get asked about a possible CM Punk return during the Fastlane press event, though they reportedly expected to be. Even prepped some of the talent for it. As noted last month, Punk has not signed to return to the company following his AEW exit, and a report at the time said that there had not been any negotiations. That hasn't stopped speculation about a Punk return, particularly for Survivor Series, which would have been spurned by comments Punk has made, which suggests he might be heading there. WWE has been trying to tap down on expectations that Punk may be returning for Survivor Series, and Fightful Select reports that the many in the company have said they were surprised that they weren't asked about the possibility at the Fastlane post-show press event. And in the event they were asked, Triple H and several members of the roster were prepared for the occasion, with stars being prepped to deliver company lines. That line is that there's no ill will between Punk and WWE, and the possibility was there, but that Punk wasn't signed and talks were not taking place, and he wasn't planning for the show, nor should fans get tickets with the expectation of him being there. Triple H is said to have been specifically expecting to be asked about it. The site asked WWE higher-ups on Monday if anything has changed in Punk's situation with WWE, and got a response confirming that Punk was a firm no. Honestly, there was one point where I was like, okay, maybe WWE is doing this to create the surprise, but they just been so adamant that it really does feel like they're doing this that it's not happening.
I was gonna say, like, normally the con in wrestling, right, is like they want you to think that people are gonna show up. Like, yeah, come on in. You never know what's gonna happen. It's WWE.
Yeah.
Punk is like the only dude where they go actively out of their way, like, nah. If you're a Punk fan, don't come. No. Here's your ticket back.
Yo, like that ass. They're like literally saying, don't come if you're a Punk fan. Don't come. Like, don't come. Like
they don't want those chants, man.
I think that people are like comparing it to times like when the reports that Edge was coming back, and then he came back and he was like, I haven't been medically cleared. That was because there was reports that he was getting back. He never said you shouldn't go to the event because I'm not coming back. Like, this is like a step further than WWE has ever went.
It's so interesting. I mean, listen, they don't need him at this show, so I understand. Like, they don't need him at the moment. Like, business is hot the way it is. You know what I mean? It would be quite a fuck you to AEW for sure. And if that's what they're going for, like, to just fucking stamp them out, that would be a big blow also. I mean, not that he has a big chance of going back there, but like, there's rumors of him being under the devil mask. I don't think those are true. But, you know, it always keeps, you know, the wheels turning, fans' wheels turning of him coming back. But just in the overview, it just wouldn't be a good look. Just like when Cody went to WWE.
Yeah, 100%. It would definitely hurt AEW, and WWE has been doing stuff to hurt AEW. We didn't get to talk about it because it was on last week's news, but they announced last week that they're going to have Bash in Berlin 6 days after All in London 2. Which means that if you're a European fan and you're traveling for an event, you're gonna have to pick one event over the other. So they're trying to affect the Wembley number this year, which is a smart play by WWE. But they're different from that to what they're doing with Punk. They're making it clear that they're like, no, he's not. No, we don't want him. No.
Yeah. No. Listen, don't worry. Don't come in. Here's your ticket back, actually.
But yes, it's very, very interesting. And Big Man Dog saying what a lot of people are thinking. My view on Punk going to WWE changes every week. Laugh my ass off. There are a lot of people who are feeling that. WWE NXT Halloween Havoc Night 2 was this week. It was down in the ratings, 674,000 viewers, but it featured one of the best NXT TV matches of the year as Ilya Dragunov defeated Carmelo Hayes in a tremendous main event to retain the NXT Championship, thanks to a timely distraction from a returning Trick Williams. Post-match, Baron Corbin attacked Dragunov to set himself up as the next challenger. Dominic Mysterio beat Nathan Frazier in a good matchup to retain the North American Championship. Post-match, Wes Lee made his return to attack the champ and set his claims to get back his title. The Creed brothers defeated Los Lotharios in a wild tables, ladders, and scares matchup. And Lola Vice won the Women's Breakout Tournament, picking up a win over Kalani Jordan. She gets the next shot at the NXT Women's Championship. So good stuff all around from Halloween Havoc, the 2-week event and everything going on NXT, but the ratings is down because no Becky and no main roster people except for Dominic Mysterio. It happened.
I actually did watch, and ahead of this too, I watched the previous two Carmelo and Dragunov matches. And I don't watch NXT at all. Like, I haven't watched that shit for years.
Their trilogy is one of the best in NXT history.
That shit is very fucking good. And I've liked Ilya since his matches against Gunther, and you could tell that it wasn't one-sided, one person carrying that match. And here too, Carmelo's fucking great too. But damn, Dragunov is fucking great, man. I fucking love Dragunov. Just like I love Gunther, like those Walter, whatever you want to call him, like those two dudes, man. And they had a great trilogy of matches. I'm not the type to watch the entire night, but yeah, I guess NXT is cooking with some things. So
I would say Dragunov's the number 2 best worker in WWE right now, and he's trying to keep up with Gunther. It's just so hard right now. Gunther's on.
Who's your number 1?
It's Gunther.
Oh, okay.
It's Gunther.
Okay.
It's like these two are like head and shoulders above everybody else in WWE.
Yeah, and I can't wait for them to have a match together in the big stage. Actually,
Bash in Berlin.
There you go. Yes,
Match. Bash at the Berlin. Come on, like WWE. This is like it's calling you. You got a year to set this up. But yeah, do it. Really quickly, Ring of Honor TV on Honor Club. We actually got a really great matchup on the show as Athena beat Mercedes Martinez in a great main event to retain the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship, thanks to help from Billy Starks, who nared Martinez with the title belt. He also had Angelico won a Lucha 4-way as he gets more momentum ahead of a Ring of Honor World title match, and Josh Woods picked up a win over Ethan Page, thanks to an assist from Tony Nese. Over on Impact on Access TV, also on Thursday, the Motor City Machine Guns defeated Team Canada's Josh Alexander and Eric Young in a fabulous tag team main event. This was the first show that they shot over in the UK, so they had a great setting for this as well. Moose, Brian Myers, and Deonna Purrazzo beat Subculture in a fun 6-person tag team matchup. Trinity picked up a win over Emerson Jane, and Joe Hendry defeated Frankie Kazarian to win the Glasgow Cup. Then last night, we had Impact Turning Point, which featured Will Ospreay's second match back in Impact Wrestling, picking up a win over Eddie Edwards in a terrific main event. Will Ospreay had a great matchup. Color me surprised. You also saw Trinity beat Deonna Purrazzo to retain the Knockouts World Championship, and Team Canada's Josh Alexander and Eric Young pick up a win over Subculture in a very good opener to the show. And they had the good brother Simon Miller from What Culture on this show as he lost to Joe Hendry. So plenty. Yeah. I was like, go ahead, Simon.
Is he going to give himself a thumbs up?
Or a thumbs down? I don't know. Does he get the golden up for that? Does he get a golden up, Simon, for your performance? Shouts out to Simon. He was with the good brothers Jeremy and Joel over on Fightful Overbook on In the Weeds on Friday. Got to get you over here, Simon. You need to stop doing, the inferior black podcasts. Anyway.
Yeah, since you couldn't touch on this last week, what do you think of the name change back to TNA?
Absolutely love it.
Love it?
I love it. I absolutely love it because I know so many people from outside the United States that never called it Impact. That all has been calling it TNA for the past 7 years that has been Impact. So it just makes a whole bunch of sense. There's people that literally, we're still calling it TNA, but stop watching. And now that it's TNA again, they're going to watch again. So I think it's a smart move.
I guess it was a good business move because I call it TNA also. But I understand that. But at the same time, those are the 3 worst letters of a wrestling name promotion ever.
Points were made.
But is that the gag now? Is that the fucking ironic hipster gag on it now?
It was so people now remember TNA though for the good
memories.
Nostalgia of it. Yeah, it's a good.
You forget the bullshit.
Exactly. They forget the fact that it was a lot of bullshit when we watched TNA. They just forget that now.
There's a reason we stopped watching. There's a reason we stopped going to the fucking house shows even. Like, us.
Hey, we were still going, even in 2004, man. That's more than most people. That's more than most people.
2004? You mean 2014?
Oh, 2014. Excuse me.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's when we stopped, actually.
Like, dates, how do they work? But yeah. All right, it's time for Chrissy Love's favorite part of the show, match of the week. And because I'm having problems for remembering all the matches from this week, we're gonna combine the last 2 weeks. So anything from October 21st, 2023 to last night is included in this match of the week. So I've literally only written down 2 matches that I remember from the past 2 weeks that were great. But I'm gonna try to come up with some. So, because since Power Struggle doesn't count from this morning,
I think we're gonna have the same number 1.
Oh, I think so. I'm gonna go with number 5 for me. I'll go with Tama Tonga versus Shingo Takagi from Fighting Spirit Unleashed. I thought that was a great matchup there. Go with number 4 for me. I'm going to go with Will Ospreay versus Eddie Edwards from Turning Point. I thought that was a great match. I'll go number 3 for me. I'll go with Orange Cassidy versus... No, actually, scrap whatever was number 5. Everybody drops down. Number 4 for me... Number 4 for me is Orange Cassidy versus Claudio Castagnoli from Dynamite. Number 3 for me, Ilya Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes from Halloween Havoc Night 2. Number 2 for me, MJF versus Kenny Omega from last Saturday's Collision. Number one, this is the reason why I made it 2 weeks. Number 1, Will Ospreay versus Speedball Mike Bailey from Bound for Glory.
I gotta go out of my way to watch that match, so I can't list it. You asked me to remember the week before. I can't do that shit.
Hey, just do it this week if it's easier for you. I just couldn't come up with 5 matches from this week, so I was like,
I'll give you a top 3 then. My number 1 is MJF versus Kenny. There's no surprise there. Number 2, Ilya versus Carmelo. Number 3, Cassidy versus Claudio. That was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Not that I doubt that a Claudio match would be good, and and Cassidy has good matches too. Well, I guess I just wasn't expecting it to be quite a banger.
This is true.
From out of nowhere.
We got Frantic World who says, I can't wait to see Athena versus Billy Starks. I will say they've done an excellent job of building a long form story heading into Final Battle with those two. And it's some of the best storytelling work a Tony Khan promotion has done for a women's storyline ever.
Is he the one actually booking it, or is someone else in charge of ROH?
I think they have a booking team with ROH, but he's in charge of everything. He's the final say. He's the Vince of everything, Ring of Honor included.
Why can't he bring that same energy to fucking Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays? Jesus fucking Christ.
That's a good fucking question, sir.
his good solid women's booking is in the witness protection program on ROH Honor Club. God.
Big Man Dog says Gunther will be super over in Germany, even though he's Austrian. Austrians are German when they are winning. That's a good one. And Big Man Dog says, I loved TNA when I was a kid. I unironically thought Hogan was speaking facts when he said TNA would beat WWE. I was into the whole TNA going to Mondays until it
I mean, we all wanted to recapture the Monday Night War Magic at the time, but they got fucking demolished.
so badly.
But it was their own fault. They brought back fucking Val Venus and Brian Knobbs. What the
and
fuck
the
is wrong with-
band. Remember the band? Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Sean Wallman.
Terrible.
Let's finish things.
Remember the good times.
Yes, remember the good times, TNA. Remember Joe and Daniels and AJ. But yes, we're going to finish things off with our Crown Jewel final predictions. Let us know in the live chat your final predictions for WWE Crown Jewel and last call for Super Chat donations as we wind things down on this edition of the flagship. So Crown Jewel coming up. We got 8 matches on the card, including the return of the kickoff matches. Sami Zayn will go one-on-one with JD McDonough probably in the next 5 minutes. Who you got, Johnny?
Sami Zayn.
You got Sammy, and Sammy should not be on the pre-show. This man main evented WrestleMania
that's
and
so
main evented
weird.
the last Saudi show. Why the fuck is he on the pre-show?
Do you think it's because it's some political shit because of his religious or his background or whatever?
I mean,
he's Syrian descent, right?
You might be under something. I'm just saying. I'm not sure, but I don't know. This doesn't sound like the words theory. But moving on, we had the Judgment Day fangirl of JD McDonough. Now you got the Judgment of the Judgment Day, the punishment of the Judgment Day. Damian Priest going one-on-one with Cody Rhodes. He pulmonized Cody's ankle a couple of weeks ago, which Cody no-selled and beat him down later in the show. But who's going to win here?
Whoa!
My father said, yeah, Cody Rhodes. Something. Now you got John Cena will try to attempt to get his first singles win in WWE in 5 years against Solo Sikoa. Who do you got here, Johnny?
Cena versus Taz, huh? Okay.
What dreams
it depends. It depends. So, if this actor or this actor strike is ending soon, then I'm gonna go with Solo. But I guess if it's continuing, I would say Cena, and they'll have a longer program. I guess I don't know where they're at news wise. I'm still gonna go Cena. I think it's a bit of a redemption story.
Yeah. And
then eventually Solo would get a bigger win.
I'm going to go with Solo because I feel like Cena not getting this win should be his story. Even if it's just the end of his run here and he comes back maybe for WrestleMania season, I think that would be the perfect ending for him to go film a movie and then maybe come back next year. Or it would be a cool story for if he's going to continue to be on TV, that he's still searching for this first win in 5 years.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go to the women's championship bout. It's going to be Io Sky defending against Bianca Belair. Bianca returned a couple of weeks ago. Will she win the title back?
I'm going to say Io retains. Hell, I'm just going to throw out some wonky shit. Kyrie helps her.
Kyrie joins Damage Control. I can see that.
Sure.
I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that. I'm going with Io to retain as well. I think Bianca will probably win the title back before Mania, though. U.S. Championship bout. Rey Mysterio defends against Logan Paul. Logan Paul, after winning his boxing match against Dylan Delanis, made the challenge to the U.S. champion. Will he become the new champion, Johnny?
He will. He will. Logan Paul wins. That U.S. title is going to be displayed whenever he does his impulsive podcast, when he's drinking his shitty energy drink. As he's stealing his fans' money through crypto scams, the U.S. title will be displayed. It's going to be great. Great publicity.
Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Yeah, Logan Paul definitely gonna win, and then he's gonna lose the title to LA Knight at WrestleMania. Said it here.
Oh, nice.
Rhea Ripley will defend the WWE Women's World Championship against Nia Jax, Zoe Stark, Shayna Baszler, and Raquel Rodriguez. Who wins? Does Mommy stay on top?
Mommy stays on top. And I will say maybe Jade comes out for a little something happens with Jade. I don't know what, but Jade will be featured in the big stage.
I think Jade will just show up at the show like she's done all these other shows. I think Rhea gets the win pinning Raquel, and then she feuds with Nia Jax after. This one should be very interesting. Seth freaking Rollins defends the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against Drew McIntyre. McIntyre has become the most interesting man on Monday Night Raw with a slow burn heel turn, but is he going to turn heel? Will he become the world champion? What do you think?
I'm going to say he wins, actually. And then Damian Priest cashes in on him.
Wow. I would not mind that. I
and
think
that'll even get him even more pissed. It's kind of like the Brett turn from 97. You know what I mean?
We're kind of on the same.
He's getting screwed.
We're kind of on the same page. I think he gets screwed over with Priest trying to cash in during the match, which costs Drew, and Seth wins.
Okay.
And then finally, for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship, Roman Reigns defends against LA Knight. Yeah. LA Knight has been on a meteoric rise, but now he goes against the top dog, the tribal chief of WWE, who's walking out with the gold in the main event.
Come on, man. Roman ain't leaving without his belt, man. Come on, man. It's Roman all the way.
Obviously, Roman Reigns is winning, people. What are we even talking about here?
Shouldn't even be a question.
Let's get to the show. Baby Seth, do you want to let the people know anything that you want to make a plug for?
No, not at all.
I figured so.
Don't look for me. Don't find me anywhere. Just, follow the boys, follow the guys, follow the gals. Leave me alone.
We're about to start going live with another thing. We're going right. We're getting all the hours here on the YouTube channel because Romeo and the gang is about to go live right now for our WWE Crown Jewel watch along. So follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Tru Heel Heat. Patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat for the Tru Heel Heat Prediction Championship, $3 a month plus exclusive content. So always enjoy that, and that always helps out. That's the best way to support us right there. And subscribe to the Tru Heel Heat Sports YouTube channel, as well as twitch.tv/Tru Heel Heat Gaming, and foryourwear.com/Tru Heel Heat for your merchandise. Very important there.
Yeah, you hit your time, dude. You were in line.
I told you I was on the book here. The only reason we're going a minute over is because we're making money for the diapers. Yay! Thank you so much, Ninja Mortis. Yo, you are the man. I appreciate you. Ninja Mortis with a super chat donation to close us off. He says, I've been missing the Thursday shows. We got to get Jimmy on Collision recap days. THH forever. I'm trying to convince him. I told him all about my issues with Sober Guy JJ and the fact that this motherfucker has not answered a message from me since October 22nd. So if the motherfucker watches the show, he will hear me say he is the worst co-host I've ever had because he doesn't respond to fucking texts.
Is he okay? Is he going on a drug bender?
No, he can answer all the fucking shit about asses twerking and titties out, but he can't answer me about reviewing Collision.
Send him a pair of titties and then be like, hey, collision titties.
Enjoy the Crown Jewel watch along. So Baby Seth, for Top Guy JJ, it is me, your Tru Heel feed on SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat 249, all elderly wrestling. We are signing off. Until next time. Later, y'all.